prices going through the roof in the winter. So maverick he is not on the important critical issues that affect people at that kitchen table.
Final question tonight before your closing statement, starting with you, Senator Biden. Can you think of a single issue, and this is to cast light for people who are just trying to get to know you in your final debate, your only debate of this year. Can you think of a single issue, policy issue, in which you were forced to change a long-held view in order to accommodate changed circumstances?
Yeah, I can. When I got to the United States Senate and went on the Judiciary Committee as a young lawyer, I was of the view and have been trained to the view that the only thing that mattered was whether or not a nominee appointed, suggested by the President, had a judicial temperament, had not committed a crime of moral turpitude, and had been a good student. And it didn't take me long. It was hard to change, but it didn't take me long. But it took about 5 years for me to realize that the ideology of that judge makes a big difference. That's why I led the fight against Judge Bork. Had he been in the court, I suspect there'd be a lot of changes that I don't like and the American people wouldn't like, including everything from Roe v. Wade to issues relating to civil rights and civil liberties. And so that was one of the intellectual changes that took place in my career as I got a close look at it. And that's why I was the first chairman of the Judiciary Committee to forthrightly state that it matters what your judicial philosophy is. The American people have a right to understand it and to know it. But I did change on that, and I'm glad I did.
Governor.
There have been times where, as mayor and governor, we have passed budgets that I did not veto, and that, I think, could be considered as something that I quasi-caved in, if you will, but knowing that it was the right thing to do in order to progress the agenda for that year and to work with the legislative body, that body that actually holds the purse strings. So there were times when I wanted to zero-base budget and to cut taxes even more, and I didn't have enough support in order to accomplish that. But on the major principal things, no, there hasn't been something that I've had to compromise on, because we've always seemed to find a way to work together. Up there in Alaska, what we have done is, with bipartisan efforts, is work together, and again, not caring who gets the credit for what as we accomplish things up there. And that's been just a part of the operation that I wanted to participate in, and that's what we're going to do in Washington, D.C. also. Bringing both sides together, John McCain is known for doing that also, in order to get the work done for the American people.
Let's come full circle. You both want to bring both sides together, and you both talk about bipartisanship. Once again, we saw what happened this week in Washington. How do you change the tone as Vice President, as number 2?
Well, again, I believe John McCain were he here, this is a dangerous thing to say in the middle of an election, but he would acknowledge what I'm about to say. I have been able to work across the aisle on some of those controversial issues and change my party's mind as well as Republicans, because I learned a lesson from Mike Mansfield. Mike Mansfield, the former leader of the Senate, said to me one day, I made a criticism of Jesse Helms. He said, what would you do if I told you Jesse Helms and Dot Helms had adopted a child who had braces and was in real need? I said, I'd feel like a jerk. He said, Joe, understand one thing. Everyone's sent here for a reason, because there's something in them their folks like. Don't question their motive. I have never, since that moment in my first year, questioned the motive of another member of the Congress or Senate with whom I've disagreed. I've questioned their judgment. I think that's why I have the respect I have and been able to work as well as I've been able to have work in the United States Senate. That's the fundamental change Barack Obama and I will bring to this party, not questioning other people's motives.
Governor.
You do what I did as governor, and you appoint people regardless of party affiliation, Democrats, independents, Republicans. You walk the walk. You don't just talk the talk. And even in my own family, it's a very diverse family, and we have folks of all political persuasion in there also. So I've grown up just knowing that, you know, at the end of the day, as long as we're all working together for the greater good, it's going to be okay. But the policies and the proposals have got to speak for themselves also. And again, voters on November 4th are going to have that choice to either support a ticket that supports policies that create jobs. You do that by lowering taxes on American workers and on our businesses, and you build up infrastructure, and you rein in government spending, and you make our nation energy independent. or you support a ticket that supports policies that will kill jobs by increasing taxes, and that's what the track record shows, is a desire to increase taxes, increase spending, $1 trillion spending proposal that's on the table, that's going to hurt our country, and saying no to energy independence. Clear choices on November 4th.
Governor Palin, you get the chance to make the first closing statement.
Well, again, Gwen, I do want to thank you and the Commission. This is such an honor for me, and I appreciate, too, Senator Biden, getting to meet you finally also and getting to debate with you, and I would like more opportunity for this. I like being able to answer these tough questions without the filter even of the mainstream media kind of telling viewers what they've just heard. I'd rather be able to just speak to the American people like we just did, and it's so important that the American people know of the choices that they have on November 4th. I want to assure you that John McCain and I, we're going to fight for America. We're going to fight for the middle class, average, everyday American family like mine. I've been there. I know what the hurts are. I know what the challenges are. And thank God I know what the joys are, too, of living in America. We are so blessed. And I've always been proud to be an American. And so has John McCain. We have to fight for our freedoms also, economic and our national security freedoms. It was Ronald Reagan who said that freedom is always just one generation away from extinction. We don't pass it to our children in the bloodstream. We have to fight for it and protect it and then hand it to them so that they shall do the same, or we're going to find ourselves spending our sunset years telling our children and our children's children about a time in America back in the day when men and women were free. We will fight for it, and there is only one man in this race who has really ever fought for you, and that's Senator John McCain.
Thank you, Governor. Senator Biden.
Gwen, thank you for doing this, and the Commission and Governor. It really was a pleasure getting to meet you. Look, folks, this is the most important election you've ever voted in your entire life. No one can deny that the last 8 years we've been dug into a very deep hole here at home with regard to our economy and abroad in terms of our credibility. And there's a need for fundamental change in our economic philosophy as well as our foreign policy. And Barack Obama and I don't measure progress toward that change based on whether or not we cut more regulations and how well CEOs are doing or giving another $4 billion in tax breaks to the Exxon Mobils of the world. We measure progress in America based on whether or not someone can pay their mortgage, whether or not they can send their kid to college, whether or not they're able to, when they send their child like we have abroad, or I'm about to abroad, and John has as well, I might add, to fight, that they're the best equipped and they have everything they need. And when they come home, they're guaranteed that they have the best health care and the best education possible. You know, in the neighborhood I grew up in, it was all about dignity and respect, a neighborhood like most of you grew up in. And in that neighborhood, there was filled with women and men, mothers and fathers who taught their children if they believed in themselves, if they were honest, if they worked hard, if they loved their country, they could accomplish anything. We believed it, and we did. That's why Barack Obama and I are running, to reestablish that certitude in our neighborhoods. Ladies and gentlemen, my dad used to have an expression. He'd say, "Champ, when you get knocked down, get up." Well, it's time for America to get up together. America's ready, you're ready, I'm ready, and Barack Obama is ready to be the next president of the United States of America. May God bless all of you, and most of all, for both of us, selfishly, may God protect our troops.
That ends tonight's debate. We want to thank the folks here at Washington University in St. Louis and the Commission on Presidential Debates. There are 2 more debates to come next Tuesday, October 7th, with Tom Brokaw at Belmont University in Nashville, and on October 15th at Hofstra University in New York with Bob Schieffer. Thank you, Governor Palin and Senator Biden. Good night, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You too. Thank you. So are you as always. Thank you. Good. Thank you. Thank you, Gwen. Appreciate that.
I wish
that
I
was
could
very
get up.
helpful. I know. Bless your heart. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. You're doing great.
Dad and Mom, you guys want to come up?
I'm great. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's my wife, Jill.
So nice to meet you. Thank you.